Hey leaders, thank you for leading today, Sunday, March 24th or for the 24th. This week we are still in the Lent series and we are talking about welcome. It's Palm Sunday, so we'll start with that passage and we're talking about the difference between how people responded to Jesus when he came in with that triumphal entry weekend, and then how they were responding and welcoming him later that week when they're screaming crucify. And we'll look at a couple of other passages as well, and get them to kind of think through, were these people welcoming him into all aspects of their life or not? And that's going to be the big thing that will differentiate with them. Is there's an initial welcoming of Jesus and inviting him to be your Lord and your Savior, and then there's welcoming him into all the parts of your life. Are you following him during your sports practice, or during in the evening when it's time to eat or do the chores or get ready for bed, like whatever it is, with your siblings? Where are you welcoming him and where are you not? So we'll talk about that in the main Bible lesson, and then that'll look like in your application activities. Also, ahead of time, we will need to set up with a couple of people, so that when you're entering the room, we'll have to figure out how this looks like a little bit, but do some booing and cheering for different people, which you will have to set up ahead of time. But using that as a little bit of mob mentality of, if you're booing that person, are they going to copy you and boo that person, or what are they going to do? Because that's kind of what happened at his crucifixion, right? At his arrest and all of that. But that's also what happened at his triumphal entry. Some of the people were cheering and whatever, and then they're like, yay, kind of like when you're at the restaurant and somebody starts singing happy birthday and then everybody starts singing. So that'll happen in the lesson time. But application activities are the game for your physical is swapping seats. So everybody will be in chairs. You'll have one too few chairs. Person in the middle is going to think of something that is an area in their life in which they do welcome Jesus well, in an area in which they're pretty obedient, and this works pretty well. Then after they say that, people in the chairs who do not do that as well are going to swap. Okay? So they've got to be listening, because it's the no's that are going to swap. And then, and you can't swap with somebody right next to you. There's more detail in the lesson plan. Whoever's standing is next. Is it next? And then ask some of the kids, what are ways that you could welcome Jesus into that? So that's to help reduce the swapping just because I want to swap kind of thing, which is great. They're going to do it. But give them okay, let's think about that. If it's hard for you to welcome Jesus into your behaviors at hockey practice, what are ways that could look like? Things like that. So that's that game. And then for the creative, they're going to be doing kind of a lift the flap project. We have these already made with all the flaps cut out and stuff. They're going to first glue this to a big piece of construction paper, not the flaps, just like the outline of the heart. And then you're going to talk with them about different areas, different things they do in their week. Same concept as the other group. So there are a bunch of pictures already made. So playing parks or with other kids, all that kind of stuff, doing chores, mealtime, all that kind of stuff. There's a bunch of different types of pictures in here, and they're going to be thinking about what are things that they do typically. And they're going to pick 5 of those pictures that are their normal things in their life. Then each child's going to get 5 Jesus pictures, because what they're going to do is they'll open the flap, glue the thing that they do in their regular life on here, onto that other paper underneath. And then they're going to decide, is this an area in which I have already welcomed Jesus and he's working with me in, and I do pretty well letting him help me make good decisions in this thing? And if that's true, you're going to glue them on the inside of the door. If this is an area where he's still trying to help you, but you're not really wanting it, you're going to glue Jesus on the outside of the door. And this is a very concrete way for them to think through, am I following Jesus in all the areas of my life or just some? So that is that. All right. Thanks, leaders.